gentlemen, I would like to call this meeting to order, please. And if you can, would you please stand, if you can, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag with us? Okay, roll call, please.
Present.
Here.
Here.
Alderman Edwards.
Here.
Mayor Ford.
Present. Thank you. At this time, Pastor King, if you will lead us in a word of prayer, please.
It's not promised to us, that we've never seen before. We pray now during this meeting, God, that you would allow the leaders here to have wisdom like the sons and the daughters of Issachar. They might see the times and know what to do. We pray for our mayor, and we ask, God, that you would give him skillful hands as you gave David, that he would lead well. We pray for other leadership that is present, that there would be good leaders. And we pray for the community members that are present, that we be good followers, so that our land will be healed and your name glorified. We ask this in your son's precious name. Amen.
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 Can you get an audience, your name of your church, sir? Address?
Sure. Pastor James King, United Christian Church, just around the corner at 4351 West 180th Street, right next to Saikuda Elementary School and across from St. Emerick Catholic Church.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Okay, next we have journal proceedings.
Thank you, Mayor. General proceedings, approval of the regular city council meeting, September 13, 2021, and administrative meeting, September 20th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing no corrections, roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Spivey.
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have communications from the mayor. And there's a couple items on the mayor's agenda tonight. First, we have the special 20th anniversary of the 9/11, which was, as you know, has passed us. But we wanted to make a presentation to our fire and police, which are our first responders. I want the clerk to read that.
I have a copy.
Are they here?
Yes.
Are police and fire here? Okay.
I'm going to start reading it now.
Wait a minute, no. As soon as they come out.
They're the same. Okay. Ready? City of Country Club Hills, Office of the Mayor proclamation honoring Country Club Hills first responders on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Whereas the Chicago Southland is composed of many things, including communities, residences, first responders, schools, parks, businesses, and civic organizations, and each of these components are dependent upon the individuals within them in order to be successful. And whereas on September 11, 2001, American citizens witnessed the worst terrorist act on U.S. soil in the nation's history. And this terrible tragedy resulted in the loss of 2,997 lives, including 355 firefighters, 60 police officers. With fortitude, first responders responded with courage and heroism. And whereas tens of thousands of first responders, including firefighters, police officers, military members, veterans, volunteers, neighbors, friends, and family responded with selflessness, and whereas Americans across the country, in the spirit of heroism, immediately united with vigilance and tenacity, and in the spirit of patriotism showed kindness, generosity, and compassion for their fellow Americans. And whereas communities, organizations, and family members of 9/11 victims began observing the anniversary of September 11th as a respectful way to honor and memorialize those who lost their lives on that tragic day, and honor all first responders and volunteers for their service. And whereas it is with the American spirit that the City of Country Club Hills honors its fire department and police department for their daily acts of bravery, and now therefore be resolved that I, Mayor James W. Ford, and the City Council of the City of Country Club Hills pause in deliberations to honor our first responders of the fire and police departments for their continued service and dedication to citizens of the City of Country Club Hills on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, in witness thereof this 11th day of September 2021.
Yeah, I just want to say that as mayor and the city council, hopefully I'm speaking for everyone, that we really do appreciate our first responders, because when there's a situation, they are the first ones to respond. So we owe a lot of gratitude to them, and we appreciate the services that you render to the city of Country Club Hills. So please continue that. We go to bed at night, we feel pretty safe because of you guys, and thank you so much.
Definitely consider it an honor to, take care of our residents, our guests, our city council. We've been fortunate that, we've been supported. So thank you for your support as well.
Good, all right. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have an approval of an ordinance amending the city code 1.30,
2.3.
I'm sorry, 1.3.04. Thank you, sir. 2.30.04 ambulance service fees.
Second.
Okay, I have a second. I have a motion. Well, no, I need a motion first.
Motion for ordinance amending the city code 2.3.04 ambulance service fees.
Okay, now I need a second. Okay, it's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? I think we had a discussion on this one in our admin meeting, and it was explained as to what these fees would be about, and actually, it's going to be a tremendous savings to our residents. So we just want to make sure that we pass along any and every penny we can to save, any penny that we can save on behalf of our residents. So with that in mind, there's no other questions. Roll call, please.
Certainly. Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans. Alderman Spivey.
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Okay, next, we have approval of a 2021 property tax rebate.
Are we making the ordinance here, Attorney? Is this an ordinance?
Yeah, there is an
Sorry.
ordinance. in there.
It doesn't read that. A motion for approval for 2020 property tax rebate
Ordinance.
ordinance for the residents of Country Club Hills.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motion and second. Are there any questions?
May I be recognized?
Go right ahead.
I don't have a problem with the ordinance, but if there's any money left, I would love to see that the city get repaired in potholes or more public safety for the residents. Also, I would like to see the sheet that explains where the money can be allocated to whenever we get it in our hands.
Okay. Okay, so We have a motion, it's been a second. Questions, any other questions?
Yes, can I be right? Can you just explain to the residents where this money is actually coming from? Because there might be some confusion that it's just coming from, back from property taxes paid when it actually is coming from
Okay.
the government.
Okay, yeah, well, I was gonna get the vote and then I was gonna explain it. I think we need to, but I can go ahead and do that now. For the residents in the audience, myself, the mayor, and the council feel very strongly that because of the COVID pandemic, all of our residents have been affected by this pandemic, and you've had a lot of our residents have had financial issues and things of that nature, and because of the taxes that you pay to the city, and we felt very strongly that it would be great if we could give you a rebate on those taxes that you pay to the city portions of your tax bill. And these funds can come from the government, and the program is the American Rescue Act that was passed by President Biden, giving money to communities that have been affected by the pandemic. So that's basically where the funds will be coming from, along from our general fund as well. Questions? Okay, no other questions. If you need additional information, you can see me after the meeting. At this time, I would like to call for a roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett,
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. The next item, COVID information we have on the table. The clerk put some information on the table concerning COVID, the effects that it's having on our community, the effects that it's having on young people, teenagers, and also there's a executive order from the governor, Governor Pritzker, on the table as well, giving us guidelines on the pandemic and also the new Delta variants that's out there as well. So if you want to read about that, there's a copy on the table to my right. Okay, with that said, that ends my report. I would like to now go to the city clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Ford. Quite a few things here, so bear with me. Past events, the Back to Business Small Business Grant Workshop. This was a workshop that the city prepared because the governor had $250 million in dollars that were set aside to help small businesses that were impacted during the pandemic. The event was held on September 14th at 12 noon and 6 p.m. It was conducted by the Small Business Administration rep from the Southland Connection. If there are any additional businesses out there, $250 million sounds like a lot of money, but not when you're trying to allocate those monies to every small business within the state of Illinois. The cutoff date is October 13th, and if you're interested and need any information, please see me after the council meeting. Upcoming events, we have the branch pickup on October 9th, south of 183rd Street, October 16th, north of 183rd Street. Street sweeping, October 11th, south of 183rd Street, October 18th, north of 183rd Street. We also would like to share that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Think Pink Day is October 22nd. In the spirit of supporting those who are battling, surviving, and those who have earned their angel wings due to breast cancer, we ask that everyone please wear pink to the regular city council meeting on October 25th, and consider donating towards breast cancer research. October 30th, 9 to 12 is Shred Day at the theater parking lot. October 30th, 4 to 6 is the Halloween event at the theater. That's going to be a drive-through event in the semicircle. Last couple of things, please sign up for the reverse 911 notifications. There are forms over at the table at the information station. And if you're interested in information or signing up to get notifications, I should say, from Bremen Township Tax Assessor, please do so at brementownship.org. If you would like information for Rich Township, it's richtownship.org. And last item is the Water Department has a position available for a meter reader. The Fire Department has an EMS Fire and Public Education Assistant position. Both of these items will be posted by the end of the week, October 1st. End of report.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the city collectors report. Is that the
city's
same?
Yes, sir. In the packet, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the city treasurer's report.
The information
Debbie
is in your-
McAbane.
Thanks, Your Honor. The information's in your packets, but there's a couple of things of interest. In August, we had revenue in the amount of $1,313,353.23. We had expenses of $2,410,586.44. Obviously, it's summertime, our expenses exceeded our revenues of $1,097,233.21. And our current bank balance today is $4,381,851.99.
Thank you. Okay, we want to go to the committee reports, and the first committee we have up tonight will be the Finance Committee, and Alderman Lockett is the chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. Seeking council's approval for the vouchers an amount of $760,981.72.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, roll call, please.
Certainly, Alderman Lockett,
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor. Looking for approval for the Enterprise Fleet Lease Agreement.
Second.
Okay, I have a
This-
motion and a second.
This was discussed at our admin meeting through, with the elected officials and all. So what we'll be doing is replacing most of our vehicles, our older vehicles, police cars, fire, public works, with a lease agreement through Enterprise Leasing.
Okay,
May I be recognized?
yes.
Is it, the one-year lease is the only one they offered? Could it have been a two-year lease? I'm just asking. On page 101, what is, I can't see mine, the grand total with money down, what is it?
I don't have it in front of me. It's
Need a clerk with that.
it's an open-end lease. So what happens with this is it's new through Enterprise Leasing and the municipalities is that a lot of times when the vehicles reach a certain amount of miles before they get out of warranty, they'll switch the vehicles out. So we'll never have to spend money again as far as maintenance and repairing them.
I understand that. I was just wondering why is it a one-year lease? If it, that's why I need to know what the annual payment total is.
But
I'm gonna vote for it. I just
I
want to know
think-
what the total is for the first year to get started.
I think
Because
it's,
I don't
each
wanna
each
see us-
vehicle works differently. So there's a residual value based on the vehicle
Right.
that you're leasing. So that vehicle at the end of the 1 year, the vehicle they lease it for 25,000, the residual value might be $17,000. So at the end of the 1 year, this vehicle is, depending on wear and tear, is guaranteed to be worth 17,000.
So when we lease it, do they title it to us? Because I thought when you
Yes.
title a lease,
Yes.
you have to pay taxes on it, no?
No, we're a municipality, so we don't pay
Municipality.
taxes, but
That's all I wanted.
the vehicle is leased through Enterprise and through the City of Country Club Hills.
and it's an excellent program because I found out from the city of Tinley Park, Tinley Park, Hazelcrest, and
Matteson.
Matheson. Those are the three municipalities that's using this program. And I found out that they're saving a tremendous amount of money versus what we are paying today for our cars. And so I think it's a great program. We don't ever have to pay for maintenance because everything that we own at that point will be under warranty. And before the warranty runs out, we turn it in, get rid of it, and get some new ones.
May I be recognized? I was just worried about if we had to pay taxes. Most time when you lease a car, when you title it, of private citizens, they have to pay the taxes in order to get it. That's all I was worried about.
And you're correct, but as a municipality?
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. At this time, if there's no other questions, we want to do a roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett,
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
End of my report.
All right, thank you. Next report we have, with Law and Ordinance Government Operation. Alderwoman Evans is chair.
Yes, good evening. I am seeking approval for an ordinance that will place a traffic stop at a intersection, and will be a four-way stop, and this is the intersection of John Avenue at 178th Street and westbound 178th Street at John Street, as well as Briar Drive and Glen Oaks Avenue.
Second.
Browgate.
Briargate, I'm sorry. Briargate and Glen Oaks
Glen Oaks.
Avenue. Need an ordinance number?
Certainly. Ordinance number 0-22-21.
Seeking approval for ordinance 0-22-21.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, roll call, please.
Certainly. Alderman Lockett,
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And that is the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Public Works and Utilities. Alderman Davis, Chair. Anything?
Mayor, we're seeking approval for the Verizon Second Amendment Tower Lease Agreement. This is pretty much a housekeeping item. They've had a tower here for many, many years, and they pay us to utilize the space in the air for the tower.
And there will be an increase in the fee, so we will be receiving more money for this lease agreement.
Correct.
Yes.
Any questions? Any other questions, I should say? I got a motion. Did I get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been probably motion second. Roll call, please.
Certainly. Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Next is approval for the 2021 Invest in Cook County Grant.
Second.
This year, the City of Country Club Hills has been awarded $744,000, and this is for the city. It's been awarded the funding for a new 0.8-mile sidewalk along the east side of Pulaski Road. So, that's right there by the Hillcrest High School. For many years there's been no sidewalk, and the kids had to walk the streets and that in order to cross over. So Cook County has awarded us $744,000 for Phase 1 of the widening of Pulaski Road from Flossmoor Road. Well, I guess it's two parts of it. The project was highlighted in City Phase Study 1, widening the Pulaski Road from Flossmoor Road to 167th Street, and then also the sidewalks.
It's important to notate the sidewalks because, as you know, when you cross over 80 in Ward 1 over there, it's no sidewalk. So we want to make sure that our students crossing the bridge over I-80 going to Hillcrest and going back to Walmart, that there's a sidewalk in place. So we'll be able to put that in and make it a little bit safer for our students and also adults that travel that route.
So that's 169th to 175th.
Yes. And so that was 745,000,
744,000.
44,000.
Can I be recognized?
Yes, sir.
From what I read, is no expense to the village at all, am I correct?
No, this is a grant,
100% grant.
100%. It's Invest in Cook program. That's a good. It's a good thing. Okay, so I think I got a motion and a second and questions, and now I need a roll call.
Certainly. Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
End of report.
All right, thank you. The next we have Economic Development, Planning and Zoning Development. Alderman Spivey is the chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Country Club Hills.
We have a new business coming to town, actually, too. One is a restaurant, El Centerio, in the Cooper's Grove Mall at 4046 183rd Street. They have authentic Mexican food. They will be shortly opening up here. So please stay tuned for that. And also seeking resolution support Class 8 incentive of the Old Eagles building. As you know, that the Old Eagles building has been vacant for quite some time now, and we have Big Lots is going to be moving in there from Homewood here to Country Club Hills, and they're seeking a Class 8 incentive, which comes from Cook County, and it has nothing to do with here, with the residents, with us approving that. That's based on Cook County.
Second.
Okay. Are there any other questions? We have a motion and a second. Hear no questions. Roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Spivey.
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
And also just want to reiterate the shred date. Mayor James Ford and Economic and Development Commission will be hosting the shred date. That will be Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Time will be 9 o'clock to 12 p.m. at the outdoor theater across the street. End of my report.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Education, Parks, and Rec, Alderman Edwards, the chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. I've met with District 144, 228. At this point, the PTO meeting at Hillcrest, I'm trying to work with them. Their meeting is at 6:30 on a Monday, the same as ours at 7, so I need to maybe take a day off to go over there and work with their PTO. Also, I've tried to get in touch with 160. We will have a meeting for education on 10/7/2021 at 5 o'clock. You're welcome to come. I believe that schools are what determine where residents move. Give you the best example, Hollingwood, Flossmoor, and then you look at Dynasty Lake, period. People move there because they wanted their kids to go there. I also will be attending the Park District meeting, which is the third, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, just to make sure that I can report back to the city what's going on with the Park District. If you want to talk to me about helping our schools and park districts, please see me after the meeting. End of my report.
Thank you, Alderman. Okay, next I need a motion to open the floor to the public.
Motion to open the floor to the public.
It's been probably
Second.
motion second, roll call, and there will be a statement read. Is this correct?
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans.
Yes.
Alderman Spivey.
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
The floor is now open to the public. This is the opportunity for members of the public to speak for 3 minutes uninterrupted while at the podium. All others are asked to please remain silent in respect of the speaker and the audience. There will be no exchange of dialogue as the public is speaking. The city administrative team will be taking notes regarding your concerns and will be available to respond to your concerns at the conclusion of tonight's meeting. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, thank you. Public, if you would like to come to the podium and give us your name.
Press the button there.
Press the,
Good evening. Winston Drain, 4838 Summer Hill Drive, Country Club Hills, Illinois. I'd just like to have a couple environmental concerns for the project that is going on 183rd Street, and just want to just give a little quick litany and then maybe get some response. As we all know, homeowners in Church Owens Hill pay extremely high taxes. That is a very home community with kids, and we do have the senior citizen building there at Windsor Estate. One of the things that I noticed there is a lot of dust that is blowing into people's homes. I'm sure it's clogging people's air conditions, probably clogging the heating. And so the air quality, will there be a testing to find out about the air quality? And will there be a reimbursement in terms of for residents who live in the community? Because as you know, it gets on their cars. There's people that have swimming pools. It enters into your homes. It's causing a whole lot of damage. The other question is that's an old farm field. that was used back in the day. They used to call TNT, or whatever it was on that end, there various different chemicals. Do we know if any of those chemicals was ever in that field and have it been tested? Because once they start going in there grading and the wind began to blow, that leaves toxic chemicals in the air. Also, I know for is with the Windsor Estate, that's senior citizen that lives in that area, that stays in that building. I mean, have that been considered to see if there is a quality of air is being affected into that air system, into that building affecting our senior citizen? Is that area considered as a Superfund or a brownfield, as a cleanup area? I would like to recommend that the residents in that area be refunded or reimbursed it back from whoever the company is that's coming in there, that's causing all the wind with all this dirt is blowing all over the place. It's awful. I would just like to know, what are other communities? Is that other communities allowing logistic companies to come in aside of a home community paying $13,000, $14,000, $18,000 a year in taxes? You know, plus then you got air quality. Once those big trucks come up in there, is they going to be testing for the air, the quality of air? Those trucks have diesel, or diesel fumes. So that's another problem. Was the area used for TIF money? I know Windsor State, I don't know, the question I like to pause, throw out there was, when did Windsor receive TIF money? Was there TIF money set aside for this new company being set that's there now? And also for other set aside jobs for minorities and for vendors, for people in the community in Country Club Hills. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Drain, we'll have to, you asked so many questions. We can't really answer them all right now, but we took notes, and we'll get back to you with those answers. Anyone else would like to address the council?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
Steve Burris, Rich Township trustee. I just want to let the City Council know that this Friday, we're going to be having an open house at the Rich Township headquarters on 22013 Governor's Highway from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and all residents are welcome to come up there. We're going to be having some municipalities information, school district information, library information, park district information, nonprofit information, and local and state agencies will be up there. So anybody that's interested, this Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Rich Township is having an open house. Thank you, Council.
Thank you so much. Next person.
Yes, Zachary Lewis, 5019 180th Street. My concerns are with the same gentleman had mentioned about the construction that's going on behind my house. The same thing with the air quality. I'm a truck driver for over 30 years, and I know about truck driving and the fumes that it emits. They also have to be concerned if there's a spill. If there's any kind of spill, would the environment be concerned or will have an impact on the environment? So these are some questions that need to be answered. Basically, the trucks are idling. If the company is big and they have trucks out there, we have residents that's no more than maybe 100, 200 yards away from the dock area. You have an east and a west dock in that building, and the east dock will be close to the residents. Will there be anything besides what they're going to put up bushes? Bushes is not going to take away the noise quality. They need to have a wall that's retained, just like the highways, that absorb the noise. They can't put bushes up just to absorb the noise. Absorb the noise. Also, when he mentioned about the air quality, the diesel trucks, they emit all kind of diesel fumes that goes, because I work at the post office for over 30 years now, and we have to have things in place when it comes to that. We're not around any residents, but we do have to have things in place if there's a diesel spill or anything else. That should be a concern. Would it come into the neighborhood? Would it come into our systems, So these are some of the things that we have to be concerned with. Do they have to have the East Dock that's going to have bays on it? Would the new owner of the building have rules that's going to be dealing with the residents on trucks that's idling during the summertime for air conditioner, during the wintertime for heat? is there going to be any kind of place that the new owners of the building is going to have set in place. But my main concern is the quality of air, the noise, and basically environmental. What are they going to do with that? Was this place zoned for this? When this place was zoned, when I moved here 20 years ago, they said it would never be sold. And now it was sold from the Girl Scout. Why was it zoned for that, right in the back of a neighborhood? I don't know anywhere else in this country that I've been looking up that they have a logistic building that's that close to a neighborhood. Right there, we talking about yards. We ain't talking about a quarter mile, a half mile, but we talking about yards away from residential. And that just is not to be. So that's all the questions I have for now, and I'll wait till the end of the session to get some answers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to close the floor to the public.
My name is Maytree De Leon, and I am a resident at 18636 Loris Court in Country Club Hills. I have a concern about the traffic and the violence and the gunshots that went off in our area in the early morning of September 17th. There was great traffic. They park in the cul-de-sac over there, and I was awakened about 1 a.m. with shots, fights. It was a horrific scene. So I'd like to know what's going to be done in order to keep us safe in that area. This was one of the worst nights that we've experienced, and we've experienced many. When those crowds come in, they park over there, they leave their cars, they walk to the club. I'm talking about the BR Steakhouse. That's the business. So we had quite a night that morning. And I'm very concerned, and as the gunshots went off, there were fights, people were being beat right in front of us. When the police arrived, they kind of took over the scene, and I think police were coming from some of everywhere. So my concern is, how can we ensure that us and our children and our grandchildren are going to be safe in that area, and that we won't have that type of night again?
Thank you so much. I appreciate your questions. If you want to speak to myself after this meeting, we'll give you some answers. And also, we have our police deputy chief in the building, too, that can answer questions.
Hello, my name is Bernie Horn from 178th Place. I have.
Can you repeat your name again, please?
Bernie Horn.
Bernie.
I have concerns, first of all, about the residential tax dollars that we say you were allocated from the government. Are the citizens allowed to know how much that was? How much money was allocated, even though we're going to get a refund? How much total amount? Not, you said 744 for the Cook County, but for the tax rebate. Okay, I didn't hear that amount. Okay.
Recovery money.
And I have a concern about,
It's 1.3, I think. That amount was 1.3.
oh, okay, I did. Okay, and the second concern I have is about District 228, about the educational dollars coming from that, our tax money. It's not allocated to our children out here. A lot of the money is going to the other districts, because a lot of the parents are talking about that. I mean, I see Hillcrest has done a lot of remodeling, but still, compared to the other districts, the 228, with our tax dollars, they're not getting the equal share. The third thing is the street repair for 178th Place. We get a lot of traffic down there, police cars, ambulances, and we just need street repairs down in that area. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. I think we have a list of streets that we are working on. And for the school board, and I just want to say this, that you need to, not that you need to, we all need to go to the school board district meetings, because the city doesn't control the boards and the finances. So we have to go to 228, we have to go to 160, we We have to go to 227. We have to go to those meetings and let them know how we feel about their education. We have one last person.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Vaughn Harrison, 18514 Bellamy. Over the past 14 years, I've endeavored to participate as a volunteer with the Country Club Hills as a city. I won't go into the details of some of the bad experiences that I've had because we all know that we have deep issues in Country Club Hills. I'm here to, again, to offer my services. At the July 26th meeting, it was said that Country Club Hills did not accept my services because of my fees. On May 26th, 2020, I offered 10 hours of free consulting service. I want to say publicly again, really not again, but publicly this time, I'm again offering to Country Club Hills 10 hours of free consulting services. For context, for those of you who don't know my background, engineering, program management, Six Sigma, Dorian Shanin methodologies, complex problem solving. So again, I'm offering my services, 10 hours for free to Country Club Hills. I've given proposals to past finance directors who are no longer part of this organization, Country Club Hills. Most recently shared the information with the city administrator. Unfortunately, that did not prove successful either. But again, I'm not here to complain. I want to offer services so that we can produce solutions for the benefit of our stakeholders. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to close the floor to the public, please.
Motion to close the floor to the public.
Second.
It's been properly motion second. Roll call, please.
Certainly. Alderman Lockett,
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans,
Yes.
Alderman Spivey,
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Next, we have the aldermanic reports. Alderman, we'll start with Alderman Edwards tonight and come this way.
Okay. My residents, that talked about the streets, I've been out there 4 times with 2 supervisors walking up and down, asking for help. Some people see me out there. All I can do is ask. I agree. From Kindercare all the way down, we need to get the streets repaired. Okay. For 228, Oak Forest, Tinley Park, Brenham, the people have to go to the meetings like the mayor say, but they have to get involved in the PTO. They don't even have a booster club. I'm trying to help them put a booster club for the football team. We gotta do less talking and more working to make our community better. For the gentleman who mentioned the Cube, which is 183rd, that should have been built in an industrial park. I'm a geography major. I study industrial parks. I know how to set them up. You never should have built that in a residential area. You follow what I'm saying? Dirt, wind, pollution, trucks, street breaking up, environmental danger, that's bad. Industrial park, no residents. For the gentleman who say he want to help, we should accept help from all our residents, especially if they can help us make our community better. I'm going to be cool tonight. End of my report.
Alderman Spivey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, residents. In the 4th Ward, we will be working on some streets. I got with Public Works and Chief Rogers. So we've identified some areas in the 4th Ward, and we've been working on sidewalks, driveways, and streets repair. So we're going to be resurfacing some areas in the 4th Ward. The issue with the Cube, I'm sure that there's things that they would do in order to accommodate the community. But I think at this time, as they go through the process of building the Cube, you know, the warehouses is no more than like if you were building areas of homes. You have homes coming through, trucks coming in, bringing in heavy equipment and things of that nature. So I will think that, you know, dirt would be flying as well if they were building homes and stuff like that. So hopefully that they will, some type of way, accommodate the community and do things in an order that they can look over to make sure that the quality of air and things of that nature is handled for the community. The gentleman, what's your name again, sir? Mr. Harrison, I've seen you come to my EDC meetings quite a few times. I think that you have some great services. I'm not sure exactly what it is that you want to do. If you want to, do you want to serve on a committee or something to that nature? Because I know you said that you want to offer services, and majority of the people that come and offers these services, they are working with the committee, whether it's EDC commission, whether it's fire department commission, and so on. So I don't know exactly if you want to join all of those commissions, or exactly what it is particularly that you want to set out and do for the community. Yes, sir. Sounds good. What else? That's the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman.
Thank you.
Alderwoman. Everett.
Yes, good evening. I just wanted a couple things repeated so that I can make sure that residents that aren't here get that information too. I missed the branch pickup dates for the south and the north side, and the street sweeping for the south and the north side as well. And then there was a resident, Mr. Burris, you mentioned the Rich Township having an open house. Will there be addressing the property tax issue at the Rich Township opening house? Because I did get a lot of residents that have taxes went up significantly with this last second installment property tax bill, and they are highly concerned about that. So I'd like to be able to let them know that that would be something that will be talked about there as well. And you had the dates for the south branch pickup?
Certainly. Branch pickup, October 9th, south of 183rd Street. North of 183rd Street is October 16th.
Okay.
Street sweeping is October 11th, south of 183rd Street. Street sweeping north of 183rd Street is October 18th.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And then for the individual that, well, there was a couple residents that spoke about the 183rd Street Cubes project.
Before you go, you asked the question of the Rich Township Commission.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Alderwoman Evans, the assessor will be up there to answer any questions, and I'll talk to the supervisor and see if we can get anybody from the Cook County, make sure they'll be over there at that open house to answer any questions for Rich Township side.
And Rich Township is the township south of 183rd?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, and then to the residents that mentioned, I have spoken to the residents about this. I would have to first say with this particular project that the communication is very lacking with it in regards to it being next to a residential community. I have seen that in areas, and there's plenty being built, that are not next to residential areas. The difference that I would probably guess is that the communication with such a project that's close to a residential area is probably going to have more accountability and more communication with the residents, and that's what I'm not seeing with this project. Residents have questions, they have more questions, they may have follow-up questions. There was several presented today from the residents that expressed here that I can't answer as an alderman. I'm not even in a position to talk about air quality and dust and diesel fumes and the long-term effect of that. We need a place to be able to have somebody answer those questions for them. We need the project manager, which I have asked in the past, to be able to have some community meetings for residents to get those questions answered. And then as the development goes forth, any questions that are generated in the future, just a place that they can generally get those questions answered. And then so that everybody's not asking the same question and individuals just getting their questions answered, that everybody can see them. Maybe a particular link on the website that they can go to where they can see that that question has been asked and answered. So that is where I think that we should start from. I mean, it's a very large project. I drive past it every single day. There's, multiple mill vans full of people. I'm sure they have a dedicated person that is their communications officer that should be in communication with our department, or would be the persons to reach out to get those questions answered by residents. And should be the person answering those questions, is because these are very detailed questions as far as like air quality and I think even the gentleman mentioned the old pesticides in the field and things of that nature. So we should be getting that information directly from the horse's mouth. And then, concerns from those residents as well, as far as, the noise quality, and the gentleman mentioned about bushes not, drowning out the noise. And going forward, and what's going to be done for residents that are like right in that immediate area. So I've been told to have residents email the city at the building department at countryclubhills.com. Actually, it's building DEPT, so department is abbreviated, at countryclubhills.org. However, I do not think that's a long-term, really good solution for getting a lot of these questions answered. We need the project manager or a communications coordinator from that site to be the one to answer these questions for us. So if we could get that would be extremely helpful. The other question, or the other gentleman actually offered and has been offering for long term, I would probably have to say at least a couple years, offering services to Country Club Hills for he is, Six Sigma Lean engineering, you mentioned project design. Maybe, just maybe, this may be an opportunity for us to utilize the 10 hours. So maybe he could be the liaison to make that connection between that project and the city and getting the communication established. Not saying, again, we have to see how your services pan out. You're offering free services, and we have to see, you're saying you're willing to show us what you're capable of doing. So no promises being made, but he is offering free services as far as 10 hours, and maybe can utilize those 10 hours to create a relationship between that project and the citizens of the Country Club Hills that live in that particular area that are being affected. And then we can go from there. If services are working out well and he's doing good, maybe there's an opportunity to continue, and then maybe there's not. He's not making us any promises of that nature. He's just saying, hey, I'm a citizen myself, a resident myself that lives here, so he has some skin in the game, and he's saying I have a skill set that I'm willing to share with the city. Please allow me to show you what that skill set is and what I can do. And I think that he's been offering that for a couple years, and now is the time that we could utilize that. And then lastly, there was a resident that mentioned about the gunshots and the violence in a particular bar. And I'd have to say, that's not the only location that has had issues with, recent violence and gunshots and things of that nature. What I would like to see is for us as a city to create a plan where we can be more proactive, towards these issues with the bars and the violence and increasingly going on and within the city, and be less reactive to it. So, and then I'd also like to see that occur so that we have a plan in place that addresses that is fair and equitable to all of the similar establishments. And so it doesn't look like we're singling out a particular establishment for having an issue, that we have a set of rules that we follow, that if this happens within with a particular business of that nature, this is the guideline that we're going to follow, and we follow this with any particular business like that has an issue, so that we can point to that, you know, we're equitable or we're fair in the treatment of these businesses, and we don't get targeted for look like that we're, you know, reacting and we're, you know, just targeting a certain business, and then we end up getting sued because it looks like we're just retaliating. So if we have something on paper and documented to show, no, this is how we treat all of those businesses when something like that happens, then we can protect ourselves from that. So that's what I'd like to see occur, so that in the future when these problems come about, we have a set go-to, you know, rule book on how we're going to address those issues. And that's correct. It happened on Laura's Court, in the neighborhood behind the bar.
Well, we can't have dialogue between. Well, yeah, but
right. It flowed over from the bar though, so it wasn't like it happened in the first ward and then it ended up on Laura's Court.
But still, we can't.
It flowed over from the bar.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please, due respect. Ma'am, well, ma'am, you can't speak out of order like that. Ma'am, we can hear you, but we can't hear you under these conditions. Ma'am, if you have something to say, we allow you to do that at the end of the meeting. You can set the record straight, but we can't have dialogue. She read the rules before we started the meeting, and it clearly said that when the public is speaking. We will, ma'am, we will hear you, but please, let us finish. Are you finished?
No. Again, I'm not targeting any specific bar. In actuality, I just explained that I'm looking for the city to be fair and equitable in their treatment of all of the similar like establishments, and not to be targeting a specific bar. So that was my whole point that I was trying to make in the situation, is when we have a situation like that, we can look at all of the facts and we have a go-to kind of rule book that will show how we follow this with every like situation like that, not just for BR Steakhouse, not for Aces, not for just for Sweets. It will be a rule book or a go-to set of rules that we follow that show that we're trying to be as fair and equitable in the situation, and we take a look at both sides and not just one, and not just be reactionary, that we're being proactive about the situation. And that is pretty much, I think that was the last thing you went over, Shred Day. That's the end of my report.
Okay, Alderman Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, and everyone. I don't have much. I would just like to take a moment of silence. This week we lost a former city public works employee, Edward Gannon. The guy retired here maybe a couple of years ago now. He worked here for approximately 30 years. Most of the people that work here now know him as Little Eddie. From the time that he retired, I guess he loved his job so much he never took his uniform off. His everyday clothing was his Country Club Hills uniform. And he was a great guy, hard worker, and he loved the city of Country Club Hills. So just give him a moment of silence, pray for his family. Thank you. I have no report tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of things before we close. We want to get out here. It's 8 o'clock, so appreciate everybody's patience. Just to let you know that the CUES project started about 2 years, maybe a little bit over 2 years ago, and we've had public hearings. It has gone through the zoning commission. It has had many phases, many meetings and things like that on the CUE project. So this is not, I just want the public to know, and I'm not opposed to answering the questions that was asked, but I want you to know that we just didn't jump up and start this program today or yesterday. It's been in the works over 2 years on the board for discussion. And for Mr. Byrne Harrison back there, he served on the Housing Commission for at least a couple years. And so it's not like, you know, we have not utilized his services. He was very effective on the Housing Commission and was very instrumental in the house that the city purchased. And now that we purchased the house, we rehabbed it, and we sold it. So we are accustomed to the fact that he has been volunteering services for the city. So just wanted to put that out there. So with that, I want to wish everybody enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening. And with that, unless John, you have any comments? Okay. Motion to close.
Motion for adjournment.
It's been probably motion and second. All those in favor, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Alderwoman Evans. Yes. Alderman Spivey.
Yes.
Alderman Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, we are now adjourned. So if you have any questions for the alderman or the mayor, please come forward.
8:01 p.m.